دقيقة
قبل
دقيقة
دقيقة.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن سار على سبيله إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. So again we wish to invite all to another of these series that we are presenting for this particular week. So yesterday we had concerning one of the Shaykh from Kuwait, and today in Kana keeping that relationship with the ulama, and also that we're able to benefit from the Mashaykh. That today we have with us inshallah ta'ala Sheikh who's Sheikh Ziyaad Salim Al-Abbaadi, and the Sheikh is from Urdun, so he's originally from Jordan. And also the Sheikh that he have also studied, the Sheikh also is a specialist where he have attained is a PhD thesis, and also is a professor in the science of Ilm al-Hadith. And the Sheikh also, he served as an imam and also a khatib in the masjid in his where he lives, which is Masjid al-Taqwa. So the Sheikh Hafidullah that is here with us tonight, and he'll be presenting a small lecture on discussing a hadith. And as we mentioned, that he'll be also participating in the conference of this weekend. So we invite all also to try to benefit from those sessions. تفضل شيخ.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين سيدنا محمد الهادي الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن دعا بدعوته واستنى بسنته واقتفى أثره إلى يوم الدين. وبعد، يسعد لي ويشرفني أن أكون بين إخوتي في هذه البقعة، في هذا المسجد الذي يحمل اسما عظيما، وهذا المركز الذي يحمل اسما عظيما هو شيخ الإسلام رحمه الله. وأود أن أتكلم في خلق نادر وعزيز، وقل من يتخلق به، ويحتاج التخلق به إلى مجاهدة وصبر. فنسأل الله أن يرزقنا هذا الخلق وأن يعيننا عليه.
So Sheikh Hafidullah that he started first by saying the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then also he mentioned the salutation upon the Prophet Islam, and then also the praise of the Sahaba. Then the Shaykh he mentioned that as for that he's very happy that to be with you today in this masjid, and also that this particular masjid, by way of its name, that it takes this is a very significant name that it bears, where it carries the name of Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. Then the Shaykh he mentioned that as for his discussion, the topic of his discussion today, that he'll intend to discuss concerning of those khuluq, of those mannerism or characteristic of the Muslim, that is something which is very important, but also something which is rare. And also you find that many people that may present, or many people that may possess this particular characteristics. So he said that it is something that for a person to attain this particular characteristics, it requires the person to put a great effort. أيوة.
التأني أو الأناء هو خلقنا الذي سنتكلم عنه، فنسأل الله أن يرزقنا هذه الأخلاق التي جاء بها سيدنا محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام حينما قال: إنما بعثت لأتمم مكارم الأخلاق، وفي رواية لأتمم صالح الأخلاق، والذي لا خلق عنده لا دين عنده. فربما يصلي ويصوم لكنه بسبب سوء خلقه ينزل في قعر جهنم. ونحن نعلم تلك المرأة التي كانت تصوم وتتصدق وتفعل وتفعل، لكنها كان خلقها سيئا مع قطتها، فكان سبب ذلك في دخولها جهنم. فإذا كان هذا حالها مع قطة ودخلت بسببها النار، فكيف مع إنسان كرمه الله وفضله وأعانه؟
So the Shaykh Hafidullah, he mentioned that as for the discussion today, the matter we'll be discussing is regarding ta'anni, with a person that is very meticulous. And so he mentioned regarding concerning this particular matter is of the khuluq of the Muslim, where the Muslim that is one who deliberate over matter carefully. So he mentioned this a characteristic of the Muslim that is something of great importance. So he mentioned the Prophet Islam that he had mentioned that he came to give us the best of behavior and character and things of our conduct. So he mentioned the Prophet Islam has stated regarding that he have came to, as mentioned, to perfect our behavior. And in some narration that he came to complete regarding having good behavior. They mentioned regarding concerning this matter, a person who lost good characteristic, then this person, he has no religion, he has no deen, he has no religion. So he mentioned that concerning, he might find a person that he prays, that may fast, but this person, he does not have good behavior. So he said that, and this is mentioned in the hadith, where it is stated regarding this lady that she was known to fast, she was known to pray, but she had bad behavior. And because of it, she entered Jahannam. And it says because that she behaved badly, poorly towards having a cat, towards her behavior towards this cat. أيوة.
سنتكلم عن التأني في نقاط عدة، وأول ما نبدأ في التأني في تعريفه لغة وتعريفه اصطلاحا. التأني والأنات والأنا الحلم والوقار، وأني وتأنى واستأنى تثبت، ورجل آن أي كثير الأناة. هذا في جانب اللغة. وأما في جانب الاصطلاح، وأنا لن أطيل كثيرا في التفصيلات، فالتأني والأنات هو التثبت وترك العجلة. التثبت وترك العجلة.
So Shaykh Hafidullah, he discussed concerning, as for this discussion that we hope to elaborate upon, that he'll be discussing concerning ta'anni. So he mentioned, as for the meaning of this is first, he'll start by explaining what is meant by this linguistically and also according to Islamic terminology. So he said, as for the linguistic meaning of this word, he went through different way of the word, but the general overall linguistic meaning is concerning ta'anni, tathabbut, is a person who can somewhat verify matters. So ta'anni meaning linguistically the person who verify matters and check out things properly. Then as for what is meant by istilahan, according to the Islamic, he said the meaning, or what the meaning that it gives Islamically is regarding tathabbut wa tark al-ajala, is the person who regarding that is described as that he checks and verify things carefully, and also the person is not hasty in his actions.
وقد جاءت آيات من كتاب ربنا وأحاديث من سنة نبينا صلى الله عليه وسلم تحث على التأني وعدم العجلة، وسأذكر بعضها لأن الوقت ضيق كما ترون. أما في كتاب ربنا فيقول سبحانه: يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا ضربتم في سبيل الله فتبينوا ولا تقولوا لمن ألقى إليكم السلام لست مؤمنا إلى آخر الآية. فكلمة فتبينوا يقول فيها الإمام الطبري رحمه الله وهو شيخ المفسرين، قال: فتبينوا فتأنوا في قتل من أشكل عليكم أمره فلم تعلموا حقيقة إسلامه ولا كفره ولا تعجلوا فتقتلوه، فإن العجلة حين ذاك تكون مصيبة في سفك الدم بغير حق.
So the Shaykh Hafidullah, he mentioned regarding concerning, as for the next matter to be discussed regarding ta'anni, is regarding concerning that mentioning certain verses and also some ahadith that discuss this particular matter. So he mentioned that there's many things that can be said by way of text proving this matter, but he will mention some of these texts. So I'll by first starting concerning the Quran. We mentioned that the English rendering concerning that, oh, you believe that if you go forth in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that you should verify regarding concerning to verify certain matters. The Shaykh mentioned to the end of the ayah regarding concerning fi sabilillah, going out fighting, and those who claim Islam. So he mentioned that as for this verse that it mentioned regarding that you should clarify matters, to verify and clarify matters. So he mentioned as for what is meant by this, that ulama of tafsir, amongst them At-Tabari rahimahullah, that was said to be the sheikh of the people of tafsir, that he mentioned regarding concerning, mentioned tabayyunu, that what is meant by this is concerning that the person check and verify things so as not to spill blood of people unjustly and unfairly. So regarding concerning this matter, the person to check, to verify, so as not to fall into spilling of blood of people who are not deserving to be killed.
وقال سبحانه وتعالى وقال الملك ائتوني به. الملك هو العزيز الذي كان في زمن يوسف عليه السلام، فلما جاءه الرسول أي جاء إلى يوسف عليه السلام وقال له اخرج فإن الملك يريدك، وقال الملك ائتوني به، فلما جاءه الرسول قال ارجع إلى ربك فاسأله ما بال النسوة اللاتي قطعن أيديهن إن ربي بكيدهن عليم. يقول ابن عطية رحمه الله هذا الفعل من يوسف عليه السلام أناة وصبرا وطلبا لبراءة الساحة، فهو لم يستعجل في هذا الطلب وفي الخروج، وهذا من التأني المحمود الذي ينبغي للمسلم أن يعتني به.
So the Shaykh, he mentioned regarding concerning that the ayah that mentioned regarding this matter, then he mentioned second an ayah regarding this particular topic. We mentioned that the meaning of the ayah concerned that in Surah Yusuf verse 50 mentioned the meaning of which concerning, and it is said by the king that you should bring him, meaning Yusuf. So when he was brought, meaning Yusuf was presenting to him, that he told him that then he mentioned regarding concerning that he mentioned regarding that what was their fears regarding those ladies that presented themselves to you, and also that they cut out of their hand. They mentioned وَإِنَّ رَبِّي بِكَيْدِهِنَّ عَلِيمٌ, that indeed concerning that my Lord know best regarding that the thing that they plotted against me. So he mentioned that regarding concern of the ulama of tafsir, that his name is Ibn Atiyah, that he mentioned as for what happened regarding Yusuf regarding this matter, that he exercised concerning being verifying things, and also that he was very patient regarding the matter, and also that Yusuf alayhi salam, that he was not hasty regarding his decision.
ومن الآيات التي تشير إلى التأني قوله تعالى هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش. يقول شيخنا ابن عثيمين رحمه الله خلقها في 6 أيام لحكمتين، ذكر الحكمة الأولى ثم قال والثانية أن الله علم عباده التأودة والتأني، وأن الأهم إحكام الشيء للفراغ منه، وهو قادر سبحانه، وهذا ليس من كلام الشيخ ابن عثيمين، من كلامي، والله قادر على أن يخلق السماوات والأرض في كلمة كن، لكنه أراد أن يعلمنا التأني والتأودة كآية من آيات الله.
So the Shaykh, he mentioned regarding concerning also regarding concerning of those verses that discuss this matter, where the English rendering it mentioned regarding that that Allah mean concerning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who have created the heaven and the earth in 6 days. That it mentioned regarding concerning of that it mentioned regarding concern that he mentioned that as for those who have commented upon this ayah, is they mentioned that Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, that he mentioned that there are certain benefits that can be extracted or be taken from this ayah, and amongst those benefits that can be taken is regarding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the one who created the heaven and the earth in 6 days, and he showed that not being hasty. So it got that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that regarding concern not being hasty, and or teaching us not to be hasty in going about doing of things. So it mentioned, the Shaykh, he mentioned that this is from him, not from Ibn Uthaymeen. So he mentioned that Ibn Uthaymeen mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wished to teach the servants that not to be hasty in doing of things. Then the Shaykh, he said that adding to this matter, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is capable of creating heaven and earth in one go. But rather Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wished to teach us regarding being not being hasty, regarding going about things.
وقال سبحانه وتعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا وفي قراءة فتثبتوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فيصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. قرأ الجمهور فتبينوا من التبين، وقرأ حمزة والكسائي فتثبتوا من التثبت. والمراد من التبين التعرف والتفحص، ومن التثبت الأنات وعدم العجلة والتبصر في الأمر الواقع، كما نرى في حال كثير من العجلة الذين يستعجلون فيسرعون في الحكم على الناس دون أنات ودون صبر، ويظلمون، والظلم ظلمات يوم القيامة.
So the Shaykh Hafidullah, he mentioned also of those verses that discuss concerning this matter. He mentioned concerning the ayah in Surah Al-Hujurat, that the meaning of which they mentioned that again concerning now all you believe that in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then if a person who is said to be a fasik, a person who is a sinner, that they came to you with some information for you too, I mentioned that you should verify this information. So I mentioned one way of how the ayah is read is concerning fatabayyanu. So the way that it can be read is fatabayyanu, that for you to check, to verify things or to clarify things. And also there's a second way in which the ayah can be read, which is fatathabbatu, for you to kind of somewhat to check and to look into matter carefully. So you mentioned that as for these two recital of this particular verse, that you find that jumhur of the ulama, they read concerning fatabayyanu, that you should clarify things. And as for al-hamza wal kisai and others of the Qur'an that I mentioned, fatathabbatu. So you have those two recited that are mentioned by some of the ulama. But as for what is intended or meant by this verse concerning the matter pertaining that you should verify, again that the Muslim, that he should investigate thoroughly, also for the person also to try to verify matters, and also the person not to be hasty regarding matter, but rather the person to be somewhat look into the matter as cautious as possible. So the Shaykh mentioned that what we find today, or what we see today regarding among some of the people, that they are very hasty regarding passing judgment upon others. So there are those who are very quick in passing ruling upon other people, and this is because of a lack of the person being one who is try to verify things, and also one who is not patient and deliberate.
وأما في سنة نبينا محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام فقد جاءت أحاديث كثيرة تحث على الأنات، التأني، وعدم العجلة. من ذلك مثلا حديث ابن عباس الذي أخرجه مسلم في صحيحه، قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لأشج عبد القيس: إن فيك خصلتين يحبهما الله، الحلم والأناة. الحلم والأناة. قال القاضي عياض: الأناة تربصه، يعني الأناة التي مدحه عليه الصلاة والسلام بها لأشج عبد القيس، تربصه أي انتظاره حتى نظر في مصالحه ولم يعجل. والحلم هذا القول الذي قاله الذي يدل على صحة عقله وجودة نظره. ومن هنا مدح النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هذا الرجل حين جاء مع الوفد، فما استعجل في المجيء إلى النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام حتى غير ثيابه ولبس ثيابا جديدة بعدما اغتسل، ثم كلم النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام بكلام هادئ رزين فمدحه، قال: إن فيك خصلتين يحبهما الله ورسوله، الحلم والأناة. فهو خلق حبيب إلى الله قريب إلى الناس. سنتكلم عن هذا بالتفصيل لاحقا إن شاء الله.
So Sheikh, you mentioned regarding concerning, as for those matters or some of the texts that discuss concerning all this matter regarding ta'anni, that he mentioned also, you'll find that also it is mentioned in the Sunnah. We'll find many texts that encourage that the Muslim should try to have this type of behavior and conduct. So amongst those texts that discuss this matter is the hadith that is mentioned by Imam Muslim rahimahullah in his Sahih from the hadith of Ibn Abbas, where the Prophet ﷺ, that he mentioned regarding concerning Ashaj ibn Haste, that he said regarding this person that you have two qualities that are beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first of those he mentioned al-hilm, and also the second concerning anat. So he mentioned as for the second, which is the topic of discussion regarding the person who have this anat, where the person that he mentioned that this is the person who look into matter, he deliberate matter carefully, and also that this person that he will wait and investigate and look into things, and also try to distinguish regarding those things that will be of benefit, those things that are beneficial. So he mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ wished to praise this person regarding indicating that this person that his way of thinking is correct, and the way that he look into things, that he has a correct way of how he approaches things, by which is he's not hasty regarding his decision. So he mentioned that of the thing with this person that shows that this person of this mindset, that when he came to the Prophet ﷺ, that he changed his clothing before he presented himself. Also he took a bath, and also when he spoke to the Prophet ﷺ, that he spoke in a very pleasant way, also in a very pleasant and mannerable way. So they show that this person that he was of these qualities of the Prophet ﷺ, of those things that he highlighted regarding this person's character, that he mentioned these two qualities. So regarding a person is known to be a person who is gentle, and also second, a person is known one to verify and look into things carefully. So he mentioned that from this it shows concerning of these type of behavior, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love of the person who have these qualities. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love a person who possess these type of qualities, where they look into things carefully.
وفي الحديث الذي أخرجه أبو يعلى والطبراني وأخرجه البيهقي وغيرهم من حديث أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه، يقول عليه الصلاة والسلام: التأني من الرحمن والعجلة من الشيطان. هذا حديث اختلف في حكمه وحسنه شيخنا رحمه الله، وهو عنوان محاضرتنا. أخذته من هذا الحديث: التأني من الرحمن والعجلة من الشيطان. قال المناوي رحمه الله: التأني من الله تعالى، أي مما يرضاه ويثيب عليه. هذا معنى التأني من الرحمن، أي يثيب عليه ويرضاه. والعجلة من الشيطان، أي هو الحامل عليها بوسوسته، لأن العجلة تمنع من التثبت والنظر في العواقب. وقال ابن القيم رحمه الله معلقا على هذا الحديث: العجلة من الشيطان فإنها خفة وطيش وحدة في العبد، تمنعه من التثبت والوقار والحلم، وتوجب له وضع الأشياء في غير موضعها. فكم من جريمة وقعت بالعجلة والطيش وقلة التثبت، وتجلب عليه أنواعا من الشرور، وتمنع عنه أنواعا من الخير.
So Shaykh Hafidullah, he mentioned regarding concerning the next hadith that discussed this particular discussion. So he mentioned concerning that there's a hadith that is rated by Abu Ya'la, and also the hadith also is collected by At-Tabarani, and also others who have collected this hadith. And the hadith that is mentioned, the hadith which is an Anas bin Malik, where the Prophet ﷺ have stated in the hadith, ta'anni min Allah, that concern the person who is not hasty, and a person who looks into things carefully, then it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then also he mentioned al-ajala, that a person who's hasty. Then this is from a Shaytan. So the Shaykh said that as for this particular hadith, then this is the topic of our discussion. This is the topic of our discussion. So he mentioned that as for the hadith that is mentioned, that you'll find that there's a discussion between the ulama regarding the ruling on this hadith. So you find that he mentioned that Shaykh Al-Bani rahimahullah, that takes take the position that the hadith it is Hasan. So Shaykh Al-Bani, that he's of the view that the hadith it is Hasan. As we mentioned that there's some khilaf different between the ulama on the grading of this hadith. Then Shaykh said, as for this hadith, as is the discussion of our topic today, then he mentioned that amongst the ulama have commented on this hadith. He mentioned Manawi. So Manawi that have commented concerning what is meant by ta'anni min Allah. That he mentioned that it is something which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding concerning what is meant by this. So the person who is known for this characteristic, then it's something which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also something that the person would be rewarded for. And also concerning al-ajala, what is meant by ajala min shaytan, being hasty from the shaytan, meaning concerning that the person was not the person has something that is of was concerning that whispering, that he does not affected by whispering easily. So, and also concerning that ajal, that also it stops the individual from being one who verify things and to check things out carefully. Also with ajala, that the person become blinded, who is unable to see things ahead of him. So he mentioned that, and Manawi, he commented regarding that hadith. Then he mentioned also of those who commented about the hadith, he mentioned Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah mentioned, as for al-ajala min al-shaytan, being hasty from the shaytan, what it means concerning a person that he becomes somewhat, it becomes short-sightedness. He has short-sightedness type of thing, and that also the person, it stops the person from verifying and checking things out. Also for the person to be one who somewhat not hasty, and also the person who is not one who is gentle. So I mentioned that with ajala being hasty, then it leads the person that he put things in their wrong place. The person will fall into placing things in their wrong order. And they mentioned also with ajala being hasty, also it brings about many forms of oppression and wrongdoings. أيوة.
ومن الأحاديث حديث أبي هريرة الذي أخرجه الشيخان البخاري ومسلم، يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: لو لبثت في السجن ما لبث يوسف لأجبت الداعي. هذا له علاقة بالآية التي شرحناها قبل قليل، وقال الملك ائتوني به. يقول فيها النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: لو لبثت في السجن ما لبث يوسف لأجبت الداعي. يقول القاسمي رحمه الله في محاسن التأويل: مدحه النبي، أي مدح من؟ يوسف عليه السلام. مدحه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم على هذه الأناة، وكان في طي هذه المدحة بالأناة والتثبت تنزيهه وتبرئته مما لعله يسبق إلى الوهم أنه هم بامرأة العزيز هما يؤاخذ به، فأراد يوسف ألا يخرج من السجن حتى تكمل براءته ولا يبقى عليه شبهة من شبه البلاء التي حل به عليه السلام.
As the Sheikh he mentioned regarding concerning as for the third text regarding this matter, that he mentioned regarding concerning that the hadith of Abu Hurairah anhu, that it states concerning the hadith, meaning concerning that the Prophet Islam has stated that if I was to remain in the prison, then I would remain that of Yusuf, my brother Yusuf, regarding things that he was accused of. So I mentioned that of the ulama who have commented regarding this particular and this hadith is mentioned in Bukhari and Muslim. The hadith is mentioned in Bukhari and Muslim. So Islam, then they mentioned that Al-Qasimi, that he states regarding concerning this hadith, he showed that the Prophet Islam, that he's praising of Yusuf. So the Prophet Islam, that praising of Yusuf Islam, where he exercised during this situation that he went through, and the Shaykh mentioned it goes back again concerning the ayah that we had mentioned before regarding Yusuf, that he exercised concerning having Anat that was very look into things thoroughly. So he mentioned this ayah that it goes back to regarding the Prophet Islam, kind of somewhat comparing himself regarding Yusuf alayhi salam, regarding that he exercised, regarding that he was not hasty in in taking of action. So he mentioned regarding that with this matter that Yusuf alayhi salam, that he did not want to leave the sijn, leave concerning the prison until he was somewhat cleared from the thing that he was being accused of. So he was somewhat, so he exercised the concern. So that was concerning of those matters that Yusuf alayhi salam was praised for, where he was not hasty. He was somewhat regarding concerning his decision, and he waited until he was cleared from the thing that he was accused of.
وآخر حديث نتكلم عنه هو حديث سعد بن أبي وقاص رضي الله عنه. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: التأودة في كل شيء خير، التأودة في كل شيء خير إلا في عمل الآخرة. فالأصل أن الإنسان في أعماله يتئد ويتأنى إلا فيما يقربه إلى الله، كالمسارعة إلى الصدقة، كالمسارعة إلى مساعدة الفقير، كالمسارعة إلى الإحسان إلى الجار، إلى غير ذلك مما يقربك إلى الله عز وجل. فهذه التأودة كما يقول علي القاري رحمه الله، قال: التأودة أي التأني في كل شيء، أي من الأعمال خير، أي مستحسن، إلا في عمل الآخرة، لأن في تأخير الخيرات آفات، لأن في تغيير وتأخيرها آفات. فينبغي للمسلم أن يتأنى ويتثبت ويتئد إلا فيما يقربه إلى الله من أعمال البر والإحسان والنفقة والخير في ذلك كله.
So Shaykh, he mentioned yesterday that we mentioned the final hadith regarding this matter. So after this hadith is mentioned regarding concerning the hadith of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, where the Prophet Islam have stated in the hadith that he stated regarding concerning tuhada, that is mentioned in the hadith tuhada, that you mentioned the meaning that comes later, that it is tuhada, in everything it is good, except for matter regarding actions of the akhirah. So he said, as for this hadith, but what is meant by this, that you find that one of the ulama, who is Ali al-Qari, that he discussed and explained what is meant by this hadith. So he mentioned that as for this hadith concerned, it is discussing that the person, that the asl of the Muslim, that he tries to exercise like not to be hasty, and also to look into things, investigate things, except regarding things that will take him close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the person that he tries to be hasty regarding those things. So that so with this, it requires that the Muslim that he tries to be to assist regarding concerning those people, the faqir, those people in need. So be hasty in doing of things of goodness. Also regarding concern a Muslim being good towards his neighbor, so he tries to be hasty regarding this matter. But he mentioned that tuhada is for the person that he tries to verify things, he checks things out carefully, and so that's and with this also with this concern a person that he start to with this that matters regarding of the dunya, then that the person does not know what will be the final outcome, then the person need to look into those matters carefully. أيوة.
وأما في أقوال سلفنا فبعد أن انتهينا من تعريفها لغة واصطلاحا، وذكرنا بعض الآيات وذكرنا بعض الأحاديث وهي كثيرة، ننقل بعض أقوال سلفنا الصالح من الصحابة والتابعين وأتباعهم ممن تكلم في هذا المصطلح العظيم وهو الأناة. يقول الإمام مالك رحمه الله: كان يقال التأني من الله والعجلة من الشيطان، وما عجل امرؤ فأصاب واتأل آخر فأخطأ، إلا كان الذي اتأل أصوب رأيا، ولا عجل امرؤ فأخطأ، واتأد آخر فأخطأ إلا كان الذي اتأد أيسر حظا أو أيسر خطأ. هذا كلام للإمام مالك، تأصيل في المسألة. حتى لو أخطأت بعد أن اتأدت بتأني فإن الأمر فيه فائدة وخير عميم تحصله، ولو عجلت وأصبت فإنك وإن أصبت فإنك خسرت الأناة التي تنبغي أن تكون في حياتك دوما، وألا تستعجل، خاصة في الحكم على الأشياء وعلى الأشخاص وعلى المواقف. وهذا الذي أقصده. فكم ظلم من ظلم بسبب العجلة وعدم الأناة. إن فيك خصلتين يحبهما الله ورسوله: الحلم والأناة.
So Sheikh mentioned regarding concerning the next matter to be discussed that is regarding on this topic that before previously were mentioned regarding ta'anni, regarding the meaning linguistically, also the meaning istilahan. Then second, we mentioned some ayat regarding this matter, and also third, we mentioned some hadith on this particular topic, and there's many hadith that can be mentioned regarding this particular topic. So the next thing that we'll be mentioning is regarding some of the aqwal of the Salaf. So mention some of the aqwal, or some of the statements of the Salaf regarding from the Sahaba, and of the Salaf who were mentioned, discussed this particular, who have spoken about this topic. So amongst the first that we'll mention regarding Imam Malik rahimahullah on this matter, where it is said that Imam Malik rahimahullah he stated concerning كان يقال, that it would be said تأني من Allah, that the person who's look into matter carefully is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that al-ajala, the one who's hasty, is from Shaytan, and that the person that mentioned that even concerning al-ajala, Imrun Asab, that even a person who act out of haste, but he actually did reach his mark. So the person who acted out of haste, but he can somewhat still accomplish what he did. He mentioned that the person still he fall into error by the person not looking to by the person not checking and verify things correctly. Then I mentioned إذا كان الذي تأدي أصاب إلا
كان الذي.
Then I mentioned that the person also who was somewhat not hasty, but is رهيا that he mentioned that so even a person who was not hasty and he did not per se hit the mark, that person but he fell into an error, that person that is better because of that person that he tried to look into the matter carefully, but even though he did not hit the mark, but he's better than the one who was hasty and hit the mark. Is better than that such a person. So they mentioned that the person who exercised this level of not being hasty, then it's something which is the person is least to fall into error. The person will more likely not fall into error.
وقال إبراهيم بن أدهم رحمه الله: ذكروا الأناة في الأشياء كلها، أي مدحوا الأناة، ويقصد السلف، مدحوا الأناة في الأشياء كلها. فقال الأحنف وهو ابن قيس: أما أنا فإذا حضرت جنازة لم أتأنى، أي أستعجل إليه، وإذا وجدت كفؤا زوجت ولم أتأنى، أي كفؤا لابنتي، وإذا حضرت الصلاة لم أتأنى فأتأخر في البيت ولا أمشي إليها. وهذه من إبراهيم ابن أدهم هو تأكيد، ومن الأحنف ابن قيس، للحديث: التأودة في كل شيء خير إلا في عمل الآخرة. وقال أبو عثمان ابن الحداد: من تأنى وتثبت تهيأ له الصواب ما لا يتهيأ لصاحب البديهة. وصاحب البديهة أي الذي يستعجل مباشرة يحكم على الأشياء، يسمع قصة فيحكم عليها. وأذكر مثالا على ذلك: أن امرأة شكت إلى النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام زوجها، شكته ب3 أشياء. أما الأمر الأول أنه يمنعها من صيام النهار، ويمنعها من قيام الليل، ويدخل عليه النهار وتخرج الشمس ولا يصلي الفجر. هذه 3 أمور كبيرة. إذا واحد جاء يشكو إليكم بمثل هذه الصورة، كيف تتخيلون؟ صاحب البديهة يستعجل، هذا مجرم، ما هذا الذي يفعله؟ لكن النبي يتأنى ونادى هذا الصحابي: إن زوجتك تقول كذا وكذا وكذا وتشكوك. فقال: يا رسول الله، واسمعوا إلى التأني، قال: يا رسول الله، أما الصلاة في صلاة الفجر فإنا أهل بيت عرفنا بهذا، نومنا ثقيل لا نصح، كأنها وراثة، نومي ثقيل لا نصح إلا بعد الشمس، ما أستطيع. قال: فإذا صحوت فصلي. طب بالنسبة إلى الصيام والقيام، قال: أما زوجتي فتريد أن تصوم كل يوم وأن تقوم كل يوم، وأنا شاب أمنعها من أن تكثر من الصيام والقيام. تغيرت الصورة وتبدلت. وهكذا ينبغي للقاضي أن يتأنى، والرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان قاضيا حينها، فتأنى حتى استمع إلى حجة الآخر ولم يستعجل فيحكم عليها ويكون الظلم، ويحكم عليه ويكون الظلم.
So the Sheikh here mentioned, so before we go to what he mentioned regarding those matters, that just to add regarding concerning the hadith, the author mentioned by Imam Malik rahimahullah mentioned, that was mentioned before. So I've seen the Sheikh that he added regarding concerning from what we can take from the statement of Imam Malik, that what concern other thing, that to establish regarding concerning that for the Muslim not to be one who's hasty. So from what we have understand, that for the person not to be hasty regarding matters, and that the person will find good if the person is not hasty in matters. They mentioned that even the person who sometimes who's hasty and is correct, then that also is something which is blameworthy. They mentioned also regarding concerning that regarding not being hasty, regarding concerning passing judgment or ruling upon things. So he mentioned that how many situations or cases that have come to attention regarding people who are hasty in passing concerning judgment upon others, and because of this a lot of oppression and wrong were done to others because people were hasty in passing judgment upon others. So that's a continuation regarding the statement of Imam Malik rahimahullah. Then the Shaykh he mentioned regarding concerning the next matter of the aqwal of the Salaf, that he mentioned concerning Ibrahim Adham, that he had mentioned that he mentioned or stated certain things regarding anat, and he mentioned regarding concerning that fi ashya kulli, that he mentioned that what is meant, that the Salaf they used to always mention regarding this quality, the Salaf, that they would always mention and praise of this quality regarding anat. So he mentioned regarding concerning, and this goes back, and then he mentioned regarding concerning that a lady that then he mentioned that Al-Qais, Ahnaf ibn Qais, that he mentioned that in certain things that he will be somewhat, he goes into it full ed. He mentioned or hasty into those things, which meant he mentioned regarding concerning that with janaza, he will just without deliberate the matter regarding janaza. Also, if you find that a lady that is suitable for marriage, then he'll marry to her without looking excessively into the matter. And also that if there's salat also, he would just go into the salat immediately. So certain things that he will hastily carry out those things, as in the hadith mentioned, that regarding concerning matters of the akhirah, concerning matters of getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then a person should do those things as quickly as possible. So that example of those. Then they mentioned regarding concerning another salaf that they mentioned, who's Abu Uthman ibn Haddad, that he mentioned, man ta'anna, that a person who, that he deliberates things carefully, also tathabbat, and also the person that he tries to investigate concerning matters, that then this will make the person become more liable, it is more likely the person that he'll achieve those things that he wishes. He would more likely the person would be of those person who would achieve the things correctly. Then he mentioned and the person that said, then the Shaykh, he commented on that matter where he said that as for the person that is mentioned regarding the person who looks into things carefully, then it is more likely the person that he'll able to come to the right conclusion. Then he mentioned that with this matter, that to prove this matter, you'll find concerning that the Muslim regarding passing judgment, that they should be somewhat, they should look into matter carefully and not to be hasty. Then he mentioned that to prove this point, that this hadith of this lady, that she came and she complained about her husband, and she mentioned 3 matters. So she mentioned 3 complaints regarding her husband that she presented to the Prophet ﷺ. So she mentioned one, the first that that her husband, he stops her from fasting. The second complaint is that her husband stops her from praying the night prayer. And the third complaint that she mentioned, that regarding her husband, that he would get up late for Salat al-Fajr. So she put forward these 3 complaints regarding husband. So the Shaykh, he mentioned regarding concern of this matter, so it was presented to the Prophet ﷺ to look into this matter regarding these complaints that this the wife that she made against her husband. So he mentioned that it shows regarding the person who's acting, the person who's looking into things, then after those things the person have to look into matter thoroughly. So and investigate the matter properly. So he mentioned that when a lady, she presented her case to the Prophet ﷺ, that the Prophet ﷺ in this capacity, he was acting like a judge. He was acting as a judge. So of those things expected from the judge, that he hear all the sides of the story, or all the people are involved. So he mentioned that so the Prophet ﷺ, when he heard what the complaints were, ﷺ, and the husband was presented, then he started to put the complaints that was made by the wife to her husband. So the first complaint, he stops her from fasting. The second is from Qiyamul Layl, and the third regarding is Salat. So the husband then start to now clarify his position, or clarify the matter. So he said, as for first, regarding concerning Salat, that I find concerned to know that he sleeps, he has that deep sleep, he sleeps heavy. So he sleeps very heavy. So for this, he missed Salatul Fajr, but as he gets up, he prays. So that's concerning the first case. The second 2, that she mentioned that he is forbidden from fasting and also from Qiyamul Layl. He mentioned that, 1, that my wife, she fasts and pray every night. So every night, every day, she's fasting every night, she's praying at night. He mentioned that as for myself, I'm a young man, I'm a young person, and so based upon this, it becomes difficult upon me, because that my wife, she's either fasting or she's praying, and I'm a young man. As I said, he has his needs to be considered. So the Shaykh, they mentioned that when you hear the person's explanation, now everything becomes clear. So everything now becomes very clear regarding concerning the explanation it was given by the person regarding why those things have occurred. So the Shaykh, he mentioned that so it shows regarding that it is something that a person regarding verifying and checking of things thoroughly. أيوة.
ونختم، وكلام السلف في هذا كثير، نختم بكلام لأبي حاتم الأصم رحمه الله. قال إن العاجل، وهذه كلمات تكتب بالذهب، قال إن العاجل أي المستعجل لا يكاد يلحق، كما أن الرافق لا يكاد يسبق. الرافق المتأني، والساكت لا يكاد يندم. 3. المستعجل لا يكاد يلحق، والمتأني لا يكاد يسبق، والساكت لا يكاد يندم، ومن نطق لا يكاد يسلم، أي من يكثر من الكلام. وإن العجلة، هنا الكلام الذهبي، قال وإن العجلة أي المستعجل الذي لا يتأنى يقول قبل أن يعلم، ويجيب قبل أن يفهم، ويحمد قبل أن يجرب. وهنا كانت الخسارة. فنسأل الله السلامة والمعافاة.
So the Shaykh, he mentioned that يلحق
نعم لا يكاد يلحق يعني يلحق الآخرين.
So he mentioned regarding concerning of those statements of the Salaf, and he mentioned that there's many that can be said regarding the Salaf, that what they have mentioned regarding this topic. So he mentioned regarding concerning of the Salaf that he mentioned that is Abu Hatim Asam, that he mentioned regarding concerning that the person who's hasty. So he mentioned regarding that there's the person who's hasty, then that you'll find that it's difficult for people to keep up with him. So it's difficult for people to keep up with that person. And as for the person who's somewhat gentle, then it becomes it is difficult for people to precede him. Then I mentioned as for the third, the person who's sakit, the person who somewhat is quiet, la yakad an yandam, the person who somewhat is more silent, doesn't speak that much. That such a person that in most cases is not remorseful or that feel sorry for the thing that he did not say, because most of the time he's not speaking. So they mentioned that manakata, like that, and also the person that who speaks a lot, then that is more likely that person that he will not fall into errors, much error. Then they mentioned that وَإِنَّ الْأَجَلَ ajila, that the one who is somewhat hasty, then he will speak before knowledge, he speak without knowledge, and also he will respond before he understand the matter, and also he will praise something that is not deserving to be praised. So he said that so that's the aqwal of the Salaf regarding this matter, and there's many that can be said, but the Shaykh mentioned this would be the last. The Shaykh mentioned the person who sakit is the person who does not speak much, the person who does not speak much, so it is that he doesn't fall into much error.
وأما فوائد التأني فهي كثيرة. من فوائد التأني والتثبت أنها تدل على رجاحة العقل وطمأنينة القلب، فهو رزين وقوي في عقله، فالمتأني قوي العقل، العجل قليل العقل. الأمر الثاني أن التأني يعصم الإنسان من الضلال والخطأ. يقول ابن عثيمين رحمه الله: الأنات التأني في الأمور وعدم التسرع، وما أكثر ما يهلك الإنسان ويزل أي به بسبب التعجل في الأمور. كم من امرأة قتلت بسبب وشاية فدمر البيت ثم ثبتت براءتها بعد ذلك فزل بسبب عجلته، استمع لوشاية من مغرض فظلمت زوجته أو ظلمت ابنته أو ظلمت أخته لأنه استعجل ولم يتثبت وقتل وسفك الدم، ثم اكتشف بالفحص الطبي أنها بريئة وأنها لم تفعل شيئا. لو تأنى وتثبت وانتظر وتحقق لما وقعت هذه الجريمة. وكم نرى مثل هذه الجرائم التي هي العجلة فيها، نسأل الله السلامة والمعافاة.
So Sheikh, then we'll now move to the next matter regarding this topic, which is concerning fawaid. So also discussing, after I mentioned concerning aqwal of the Salaf, that the next thing also that we can derive from this discussion is regarding of the benefits that relates to the person who have ta'anni, the person who have this quality. So I mentioned that there's many things that can be said regarding the benefits that can be taken from this quality that a person may possess. That the first of those concerning that the person who exercise concerning that verify things, that of those things that is assigned regarding the indicator that the person also that know that he has the person of sound reasoning. So the person who's of sound reasoning, then this is because the person who exercise that he verify and check and look into things thoroughly. So it's a sign concerning the person who he thinks straight and also have sound reasoning. And also the person that his reasoning ability is also sound. And the opposite, that a person who's hasty, then it's also become an indicator that the person also that is reasoning is not, that he's not sharp, that a person is not sharp, who somewhat who's hasty, that because of the person that his aql is something which is still immature. Then the second thing that he mentioned regarding concerning that the next quality is regarding concerning that the person who exercises concerning ta'anni, that of those things that it also it protects the person from falling into many errors. So of those things that it aids and it protects the person from falling into many errors. So they mentioned concerning the statement of Ibn Usaymin rahimahullah, that he commented regarding that also he protect the person from falling into errors and also misguidance. So I mentioned that Ibn Usaymin rahimahullah, he stated concerning ta'anni, that concerning that the person who exercise this quality with a person that he verifies and checks things out and not be hasty in things, ma'akthar, that you find that most people who fall into, who destroy themselves or fall into destruction, is because the person that, because of ajal, the person was somewhat very hasty, that they were very hasty in their affairs. Whether this regarding concerning any matters, so because the person was hasty, that they are more prone to fall into error because they're in various things, because they are not people who deliberate, look into things carefully and such matters. Sheikh mentioned that how many cases regarding concerning people who are hasty, regarding concerning accusations that are made against regarding concerning a woman, and also and because that she was people are oppressed and that they are wrong, and also you find that people have been killed because people are acting out of haste. So people put accusation and people do carry out actions that was not based upon verifying and checking and looking into things thoroughly, but one acted out of haste. So because of this, that you find that many people have been oppressed, and we find later on some of those people who are oppressed and wrong, that when things was looked into, that those people that they were free from the things that they were accused of. So this required a person to exercise regarding, to verify, to check things out carefully and cautiously, and also for the person not to be hasty regarding affairs. أيوة.
من فوائد التأني أنه خير كله ومحمود العاقبة إلا إذا كان في عمل الآخرة، ثم أنه يصونك أيها الإنسان من الأخلاق المذمومة. يقول ابن القيم رحمه الله: إذا انحرفت، أي أيها المسلم، إذا انحرفت عن خلق الأناة والرفق، انحرفت إما إلى عجلة وطيش وعنف، وإما إلى تفريط وإضاعة، والرفق والأناة بينهما. أنها سبب من فوائد ذلك، أنها سبب لنيل محبة الله ورضاه. وقد قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لأشج عبد القيس: إن فيك خصلتين يحبهما الله ورسوله، الحلم والأناة.
So the Sheikh, he mentioned regarding concerning the next of dua, what can be said regarding concerning the virtue and the benefits concerning having this characteristics that he mentioned regarding that the third thing regarding that it comes about with good. It always goodness comes along with it. That good comes along with it, except regarding concerning that, and also what comes so the good comes along with it, and also that except regarding concerning matters regarding the akhirah, the person, and he should hasty regarding those matters. So he mentioned regarding concerning that with this matter that the person that he looks into things carefully, then that will help the person from falling into errors and much error. So the person, because the person exercise regarding looking and investigating things thoroughly, then the person that it helps the person to not fall into errors. Then I mentioned that the statement of Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, that he states regarding that many of those who have fall off. So regarding concerning many of those in enough and most people who have lost this particular characteristic of being those who verify things and also not having of rifq, that they lost of this, that either it is because of those people coming, those who are hasty, also people come very harsh and stern regarding matters. They mentioned that, and also they go into, either they fall into, at times, people fall into being into excessiveness to one extreme, to the right, or that they they're very complacent. But they mentioned that anat or rif is in between both. regarding those who go to excess to the right, or they go to the excess regarding to the left, that you find that the person of rifq, the person who is gentle, the person who's and also the person who looks into things carefully, that those two characteristics, that they are in between those two extremes. So the Shaykh, he mentioned that and also go back to the hadith regarding concerning that the Prophet of Islam, that he praised this person regarding that he had these two qualities, that a person that he have gentleness, and also that the person also he possess checking and verifying things. He mentioned that these are the qualities that are pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So so that's concerning. So the Shaykh, so that's concerning that matter. أيوة.
ومن فوائد التأني والأناة أنه يصونك من كيد الشيطان. وعنوان محاضرتنا التأني من الله من الرحمن والعجلة من الشيطان. فينبغي لك أن تنتبه إلى أن التأني يبعدك عن الشيطان ويقربك إلى الرحمن سبحانه جل في علاه.
So next of those benefits that can be taken from this quality is regarding concerning ta'anni. Also it protects the person against the shaitan. So it protects the person against the tricks and the allurement of the shaitan. So it helps the person if he possesses this quality. So as mentioned the hadith before regarding concerning, as is the topic of the topic of this lecture, is concerning that ta'anni, it is something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that al-ajala, the person who's hasty, then this is from the shaitan. So it shows regarding concerning that of those things, if the person possesses it, which is the person who checks and verify, not hasty in matters, then this will distance the person away from the shaitan.
ما هي الأمور التي تطلب فيها التأني أكثر من غيرها؟ هذا سؤال. نحن قلنا التأني مطلوب إلا في عمل الآخرة، لكن نحتاج إلى تفصيل. ما هي الأمور التي ينبغي أن تكون الأناة حاضرة فيها أكثر من غيرها؟ من ذلك عند ذهابك إلى الصلاة رأيت الناس يصلون، فمطلوب منك التأني في المجيء، أي ألا تركض تستعجل وتلاهث كما ترون. فالتأني مطلوب كما في حديث أبي قتادة رضي الله عنه قال: بينما نحن نصلي مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذ سمع جلبة الرجال، فلما صلى قال: ما شأنكم؟ قالوا: استعجلنا إلى الصلاة. قال: لا، فلا تفعلوا، إذا أتيتم الصلاة فعليكم بالسكينة، فما أدركتم فصلوا وما فاتكم فأتموا.
So Shaykh mentioned, as for the next matter to be discussed concerning of those things that we should try to be hasty towards them. So are that those things that we should try to have ta'anni, that we should try to look into those things carefully. So I mentioned, as for those things that can be mentioned regarding concerning that one regarding as-salat. So regarding concerning as-salat, but how we carry out concerning ta'anni regarding concerning salat. So of those things regarding ta'anni, the person verifying is regarding his preparation. So the person regarding him coming to the salat, then that's the thing the person have to try to be look into how he approaches concerning the salat. Then he mentioned regarding concerning the hadith regarding this matter, regarding the hadith of Abu Qatada, that he mentioned that as we were there, that with the Prophet of Islam preparing ourselves for the salat, then we heard concerning the footstep of some men. We heard the footstep of some men, and lama salla. So after the salat, then it was asked why was the reason we heard these noise of people coming to the salat. Then it mentioned that we were trying to haste to come to the salat. We were trying to haste to catch up with the salat. Then it was told to them that you should not do this. So not to run or be hasty in sense of not running to catch up with the salat. You should not per se do of this when you come to the salat, but instead, rather, you should come to the salat with tranquility. Rather, you should come to the salat with tranquility. Then I mentioned, and with this, whatever you catch the imam or whatever position, whatever you caught of the salat, then you pray, and whatever you miss, then you make it up. Whatever you miss, then you would complete what you miss. So with this matter is regarding that the people approaching the salat because they were somewhat late, they were somewhat rushing, but they were told not to do so regarding the salah.
ومن الأمور التي ينبغي أن يتأنى فيها المسلم أن يتأنى في طلب العلم، فإن المستعجل لا يكاد يظفر، فإن العلم يحتاج إلى زمان وإلى طول وقت، فهو كالغيث، نقطة 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 حتى تشكل بحيرة. أما أن تظن أنك في سنة تصبح ابن عثيمين، والسنة الأخرى ابن باز، والسنة الخامسة ابن تيمية، لن تستطيع. ومن استعجل في هذا الباب ندم. قال الله عز وجل: لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به. يقول ابن القيم رحمه الله في هذه الآية: ومن أسرارها، أي سورة القيامة، أنها تضمنت التأني والتثبت في تلقي العلم، وأن لا يحمل السامع شدة محبته وحرصه وطلبه على مبادرة العلم بالأخذ في فراغه من كلامه، بل من آداب الرب التي أدب بها نبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم أمره بترك الاستعجال عن تلقي الوحي، بل يصبر إلى أن يفرغ جبريل من قراءته ثم يقرأه بعد فراغه عليه. فهكذا، والكلام ابن القيم، فهكذا ينبغي لطالب العلم ولسامعه أن يصبر على معلمه حتى يقضي كلامه. هذا كلام رزين من الإمام ابن القيم رحمه الله.
So Shaykh mentioned that of those things also regarding that having ta'anni, the person being meticulous about those matters, that they mention of those things that can be included regarding al-ilm. So regarding concerning talabat al-ilm, the person seeking of knowledge, also the person should go about it in the proper manner. So they mentioned that regarding concerning seeking of knowledge, that it will take time. It requires it to take time for the person to acquire concerning knowledge, and with this also for the person not to think that by seeking of knowledge and going out in seeking of knowledge for just maybe for 1 year, that a person think that you have now reached the level of that of Shaykh bin Baz or that of Ibn Uthaymeen. So that's not the case. So with knowledge it requires that a long duration of time regarding seeking of knowledge. And for the person not to believe that after a year or so, then the person have mastered and every branch of knowledge. So I mentioned regarding concerning this matter that the person regarding knowledge, that he is not to be hasty regarding concerning of going out in seeking of knowledge. Then he mentioned regarding concerning that the statement of Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah regarding, and all the ayat mentioned concerning the ayat regarding concerning this matter, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the English when regarding that you are not to move your tongue out of haste. So the meaning concerning that you are not to move your tongue out of haste. Then he mentioned that Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, that when he commented on this matter, that he mentioned they mentioned regarding concerning of the things or the benefit that can be taken. So in summary, of the benefit can be taken regarding when the Prophet ﷺ was told not to be hasty regarding moving of his tongue. Then he mentioned that it includes what can be taken from that concern that the person that one should exercise regarding that one have to be to verify and to check regarding taking of ilm. So the person in taking of ilm, that the person have to verify and check things out carefully regarding taking of ilm. So it mentioned that with a person that in this case he mentioned concerning the Prophet ﷺ, that he was to wait until the angel Jibreel ﷺ completed that verse, then he ﷺ repeat after him, but not to be hasty regarding this matter. So he mentioned from this it shows regarding that seeking of knowledge, that the person that he should exercise patience regarding the students towards his teacher in seeking of knowledge, and not to be hasty in seeking of knowledge. أيوة.
ومن الأمور التي يحضر فيها التأني وينبغي التأني في الإنكار في الأمور المحتملة، لا تستعجل فتنكر قبل أن تتثبت. فعن أبي بن كعب رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في قصة موسى والخضر قال: فعمد الخضر إلى لوح من ألواح السفينة فنزعه، فقال موسى أي عليه السلام: قوم حملونا بغير نول، فعمدت إلى سفينتهم فخرقتها لتغرق أهلها، ألم أقل؟ فقال له: ألم أقل إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا؟ قال: لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت ولا ترهقني من أمري عسرا. فهذا الذي وضعه وأنكره موسى عليه السلام من فعل الخضر، وهو إنكار نبي على ولي، والخضر ولي على الراجح، لكنه هو نبي على الراجح وليس وليا. وقد كتبت في هذا بحثا منذ 30 سنة في هل الخضر نبي أم ولي. كتبت بحثا في هذا وأثبتت أن الخضر نبي لا ولي، وأنه ميت وليس حيا. كتبت في هاتين المسألتين منذ قديم. والمقصود من هذا أن موسى عليه السلام كان ينبغي أن يصبر قليلا على الخضر، وقد أفاتنا فأنكر عليه 3 مرات، وكل مرة كان يقول له: إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. فهنا الباب الذي ينبغي أن يكون في هذا الباب: لا تستعجلا بالإنكار حتى تتأنى وتتثبت. وهذا من نبي وهو من أولي العزم موسى عليه السلام، فكيف من غيره؟
So Sheikh, he mentioned regarding concerning this matter that also those things that a person should exercise, that try to verify and to check things out thoroughly of those areas or those things regarding of those matters regarding concerning the person denouncing or the person criticizing things of munkar. So the person wishes to speak out against or to criticize regarding certain things of munkar, then a person also that he should exercise regarding that he verify and check things out first, and not to be hasty in criticizing things that may go this way or that way. So Shaykh, he mentioned regarding concerning this matter regarding the hadith of Ubay ibn Ka'b, where he mentioned the Prophet of Islam regarding a story that regarding concerning a story relating to Musa wal Khadr. So regarding concerning the matter regarding Musa wal Khadr alayhi salam, where he mentioned that both of them as known that when they went upon the ship and certain things occurred, so that they went on the ship, and then Musa, he destroyed the ship, or Khadr destroyed the ship, and then Musa asked, what's the reason for this? Then so certain things occurred between both of them when they were on this journey, between Musa and Khadr. So the Shaykh, he mentioned that of those things that have been mentioned regarding concerning this matter, that he mentioned that one, a discussion regarding with the sheikhs, that he have written a thesis on this particular discussion regarding this story or this incident that occurred between Musa being a prophet and also Khadr. So a discussion regarding, is Khadr a prophet or not? So a discussion regarding, is Khadr said to be amongst the Anbiya, or is said to be amongst those people, or a righteous person? So the Shaykh, he mentioned that he wrote a thesis, he wrote a research paper on this matter, and in conclusion, based upon his paper and his research, that the conclusion that Khadr, that he said to be a Nabi, Khadr Nabiya, so Khadr to be a prophet and not a righteous person. The second thing that also that he discussed on this in this thesis is regarding concern also that Al-Khadr also he have died. Also regarding a discussion, did he die or not die? But the Shaykh said the conclusion that also he passed away, alayhi salam. So then Shaykh go back concerning this matter regarding that Musa and Khadr, that while they were on this journey, so certain things that would occur were of those things that he destroyed a ship. So then Musa started to question regarding why he went about doing the thing that he did. So he mentioned that of those things that mentioned Musa was somewhat being hasty regarding the matters. Musa was being somewhat hasty regarding the matters. Then eventually those matters was made clarified to him. So he mentioned that 3 things occurred. So 3 things that Musa objected to that occurred, but eventually those things were clarified to him by Al-Khadr. So the Shaykh, he mentioned overall that regarding that one, not to be hasty regarding criticizing things, not be hasty in criticizing things until after the person have verified that this thing is something which is wrong.
ومن الأمور التي يحسن فيها التأني حينما تتكلم مع الآخرين، لا سيما كخطيب أو واعظ، فإن العجلة في الكلام لا تفهمه. تقول أم المؤمنين عائشة رضي الله عنها وعن أبيها: إن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يحدث حديثا لو عده العاد لأحصاه. وفي لفظ: إن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لم يكن يسرد الحديث كسردكم، أي لم يكن يستعجل في الكلام، لكنه يتأنى ولا يسرد سردا سريعا، لأن كلامه سيكون تشريعا حتى يفهمه الآخرون.
So a lot of those matters that is discussed regarding this matter of the benefits that is mentioned regarding concerning that the Shaykh mentioned concerning that the hadith where regarding concerning that the topic is regarding concerning that also the person that when he speaks that to others, that also kind of somewhat for the person to verify things that is being said. So to verification of things or information that is being passed on to others. And more so regarding those people who give khutbah, or those people who have that type of responsibility. So to verify the information that is being passed on to others. So Shaykh mentioned regarding concerning this matter that the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that it mentioned with Aisha anha, that she described concerning that if you were to the Prophet ﷺ, when he spoke, that a person was able to count the word that count his words because of the way that he spoke. So he spoke in a manner where the person would actually count the wordings that he was used, because he would in a front of spoke very slowly, where his words could be counted, and also for him to verify the things that are being said. Then also another wording of the hadith, another wording of the hadith, they mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ, that he was not of those who would speak very fast. So meaning that, of one who spoke very fast, that as you normally would speak. So the Prophet ﷺ would not speak as fast as you ordinarily would speak, meaning you, the people. So the Shaykh mentioned regarding concerning this matter that the Prophet that with him regarding this matter, that because he's the one that what he said or what he spoke would be a part of it, would be something becomes law. So his words are taken and would be part of the law. So this is of the things where he has to verify or make certain the information is absolutely correct.
وآخر أمر، والأمور كثيرة ينبغي أن يضبط الإنسان نفسه ويتأنى، القاضي حينما يفصل في الأمور لا يجوز له ويحرم عليه أن يستعجل في القضاء. ونضرب على ذلك من كتاب الله. داود عليه السلام قال له المشتكي: إن أخي له 99 نعجة ولي نعجة واحدة، فقال أكفلنيها، وعزني في الخطاب، أي منعني، قال أعطني هذه الواحدة، ثم منعني أن يرجعها لي. فقال مباشرة قبل أن يستمع للآخر: لقد ظلمك بسؤال نعجتك إلى نعاجه. ثم حكم: وإن كثيرا من الخلطاء ليبغي بعضهم على بعض إلا الذين آمنوا، إلى آخر الآية. بعد ذلك قال: وظن داود أنما فتناه فاستغفر ربه وخر راكعا وأناب. داود ابتلي بهذه المسألة وبهذا الحكم، كان ينبغي عليه السلام حينما جاء شكى إليه الأول أن يستمع للثاني ثم يحكم. أما أن يستعجل في الحكم من سماع واحد قبل أن يستمع للآخرين. ولذلك إذا جاءتك ابنتك ودموعها إلى هنا فلا تتحلفن زوجها وتقومن عليه قومة وتسب وتشتم، فلعلها فقأت عين زوجها، أو لعلها كسرت يده، أو لعلها شتمته وشتمت أهله. انتظر حتى تستمع إلى زوجها. وكم من الأمور كان بلاؤها العجلة في الأحكام، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
So Sheikh, you mentioned that many things can be said, but what will be said now is regarding concerning matters regarding the person that not being hasty regarding al-qadha. So the person who may be in that situation regarding concerning passing judgment on matters or individual, that for the person not to be those who are hasty. So it is not permissible for a person who's acting as a mediator or a judge, for the person to be one who's hasty in passing a judgment, by way of the person that he has to listen to the different sides before he come to a final conclusion. So I mentioned regarding concerning the case concerning Dawood, that you find that this is cited in the Quran. Then the Shaykh can start the meaning of what is mentioned regarding concerning with Dawood alayhi salam, that two persons came to him, and one of them kind of somewhat presented his case that he has 99 matters, and the other person that he had only one matter. The one that had 99, he wanted the one with the one to take this from him. So Dawood alayhi salam, he heard the person who came first with the complaint, and he was hasty in passing judgment, not hearing the other side. So he somewhat gravitated towards the person that he heard his story first, not hearing the story of the person who the other side of the story. So the Shaykh, he mentioned that because of this, that Dawood alayhi salam, that he was tested. So there's a test placed upon Dawood regarding this particular matter, where this matter came to his attention for him to act as a judge, but he somewhat was hasty in passing a judgment by hearing from one side and not hearing from the other side. So the Shaykh, he mentioned regarding concerning this matter, so it shows regarding that for one acting as a judge / mediator, that a person also not to be hasty in passing judgment until you have heard both sides or all the sides that are involved. So not to pass a judgment just by hearing just one side of the story and not hearing the other side of the story. So the Shaykh, he mentioned that, in many cases you find many of these issues may arise. For example, a wife might come and complain about her husband, but the person may jump to the side of the wife, not hearing the side of her husband. So maybe when a person gonna listen, that maybe that the wife, she has did something to what's the word, so she was the one who kind of somewhat another word. She incited the issue, or she was the one who kind of somewhat started. Provoke the issue. Provoke the issue. So maybe it was her who provoked the issue. So it's upon the person and somewhat to, that she might complain about something, but when everything was listened out from both sides, she was the one who provoked the issue. So overall, and not saying that the wife is all the one who come with a complaint, but the general thing is concerned that the person listening to both sides, regardless of the complaint that is made, that one should say that listen to the other side regarding their side of the story.
ما أسباب قلة التأني عند كثير من الناس؟ لماذا كثير من الناس يفقدون هذا الخلق؟ ما سبب قلة التأني وضعف التأني عند كثير من الناس؟ أول شيء أن الله عز وجل خلق الإنسان من عجل. طبيعة الإنسان كما أخبر الرحمن أنه خلق عجولا، فالذي يحارب هذا الخلق يحارب فطرة فطر عليها كثير من الناس. وجاء النص من القرآن بأنه عجول ويستعجل، وهذا لا يوافق التأدي. الأمر الثاني الغضب والجزع الشديد. وطبيعة الإنسان أنه غضوب، والغضب في أصل الإنسان. فمن يحارب الغضب يحارب أمرا غريزيا عنده، كما أن العجلة كذلك. الأمر الثالث أن كثيرا من الناس، وأنا أختصر لأن الوقت ضاق وإلا الأمر يحتاج إلى طول وأعتذر على الإطالة، أن كثيرا من الناس يستعجلون النتائج. فالعجلة كما رأينا في طبيعة الإنسان. قال الصنعاني رحمه الله: العجلة هي السرعة في الشيء، وهي مذمومة فيما كان المطلوب فيه الأناة محمودة. لأن هل الأناة مطلوبة في كل شيء؟ نقول لا، لكنها مطلوبة في كثير من الأشياء كما ذكرنا من أمثلة. ومن هنا ينبغي للإنسان أن يتريث فيسلم، فلا يكون لا أقصى اليمين ولا أقصى اليسار، لكنه الوسط بلا إفراط ولا تفريط. ولذلك من الأسباب التفريط، فنسأل الله السلامة والمعافاة.
So Shaykh Hafidullah, that he mentioned regarding this topic that we'll be discussing concerning asbab, some of the causes or the reason why you might find that many people fall into not verifying things thoroughly. So of the reasons or causes where a person might find that they might have a weakness in verifying of things. One of those reasons and causes is that concerning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have created mankind where they're hasty. So mankind have been created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they are hasty. So this is within our nature, that humans have been created that they are hasty in regarding matters, and that they do not exercise verifying of things. So the Shaykh mentioned that, so you find that a person that wants to go against this, not being hasty, and that is within us, that the person that he has to fight himself to go against this. So the person have to fight, go against himself regarding concern to rid himself of this being hasty regarding matters. So the person have to try to exercise regarding being verifying of things and not to be hasty, but this means a person have to go against how we have been created. Then also he mentioned second of those causes regarding a person having not being one who look into matters carefully, that he mentioned that of concerning that al-anger. So the person concerning out of being of anger, then this also can contribute to a person falling into this. So within the nature of us, again also within mankind, that we're somewhat because of anger also can be of those things that can push us in a direction that we don't want to. So Shaykh mentioned again that we have to go against this within our nature of not being one because of anger, push us to not being one who look into things thoroughly. Third of those things regarding that you find that many people, it says that many things can be said, but of those things concerning the people wanting to see quick result. So of those things, wanted to see quick result regarding things. So the person become hasty. So it is mentioned by Sanani that what he mentioned regarding in brief regarding concerning the person who have this hastiness, then this is something that I'm not sure even what I write here, Ajala, that قول الصنعاني
قال الصنعاني نعم
أي
حين ذاك. طبعا هنا يقول الصنعاني رحمه الله في هذا الباب، ويعني يقول العجلة كما ترون في هذا الباب. هنا الأوراق على كل حال تكلم عنها إن شاء الله.
But again that Sanani rahimahullah of the ulama of Yemen that he mentioned regarding as a way concerned that ajala also, that what is meant by this, as I said, al-ajala means concerning the person that is quick in things. The person concerning al-ajala, that a person that is quick regarding things. So the person quick in going about doing things, where the person he does not per se look into things thoroughly. So the person that so with ajala, I mentioned a person is very hasty regarding things, and also this it is something which is blameworthy. It is something which is blameworthy regarding this matter. So the Shaykh he mentioned regarding concerning with anat, that do we say that the person regarding anat being investigating things thoroughly, it is something which is required regarding everything. So for the person somewhat to look into things, to investigate, is this something that is required in every circumstance, in every matter? The Shaykh says no, but is more so regarding in most cases. So not per se in every single thing, but rather in most cases, then a person should have this approach regarding things. So also with this, that you mentioned also that with this also the person that being of those who go to lean to go to the fall to the right or to the left, meaning go to those extremes. So the person not falling into one extreme of going too far right or not going far left regarding this matter, but rather the person he takes a balanced approach regarding this matter, which is the person that those things that needs to be looked into, they're looked into properly. But so the person not going to extreme regarding this particular matter. أيوة.
ومن أسباب ذلك أيضا، من أسباب عدم التأني ترك الاستشارة والاستخارة. فإن الذي لا يستشير ولا يستأخير نادم، كما جاء في الحديث يوضح هذا الباب. ما ندم من استخار، ما ندم، ولا من استشار. حين ذاك يكون المسلم يستشير إخوانه، لا يستعجل في الحكم على الأشياء. جاءه عريس لابنته، لا يستعجل بإعطائه كلمة حتى يسأل عنه، حتى ربما لا يكون صالحا ويكون بلاؤه بعجلته. ولو أنه تريث فاستشار ثم استخار فما ندم أبدا حينما يستخير وحينما يستشير. هذا أصل. فإن الذي يستعجل في الغالب نادم، خاصة في الأمور الهامة. إذا أراد أن يقدم على عمل في تجارة ما، استشر، لا تستعجلن، واستخر، فتجعل علاقتك مع الله: يا رب إن كان هذا الأمر خيرا لي في ديني ودنياي ومعاشي فيسره لي، وفقني له. وإن كان هذا الأمر يا رب هذا التريث شرا لي في ديني ودنياي فاصرفه عني واصرفني عنه واقدر لي الخير حيث كان. تربط نفسك مع الله دوما ولا تستعجلن. وغالبا من يستعجل في هذه الأبواب لا يفلح. نسأل الله السلامة والمعافاة.
Yes, Shaykh Hafidullah, he mentioned also of those things that can be added regarding of those reasons, regarding that or those causes where the person is not leave away, the person that is hasty regarding things, the person who is hasty regarding those things. Of those things also he mentioned that of the thing the person should consider is regarding that that people fall into this of being hasty because of two. One, that the person doesn't seek advice from others and also or discuss the matter with others. And second, the person istikhara, and also the person doesn't go about al-istikhara. Salat al-istikhara. With me? So those are the two. So the person, one, that not discussing the matter with other people, so the person consulting and seeking advice from others regarding these matters. So this is a sign of the person not being hasty, and that's because the person that is willing to wait out and that is willing to discuss the matter with other people. And second also that a person that is not that also make salat al-istikhara. So you make al-istikhara, we go back, return back the matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Shaykh mentioned the person who's not who make use of these things, that you might find in the person that if he takes this route, that a person in most cases will not be regretful of what he did. You not find per se regret because he was not hasty in making a decision, but instead he seek advice and counsel from others, and also that he took the fear back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the person that know he consult his brothers about the matter, and speak and ask and seek of their advice from them with the matter, then also the person will take the matter back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding, as we know, concerning salat, with what is mentioned regarding putting the matter back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If this thing is good for the person, they make it easy of the person. If this matter that he wished to embark upon is something which is not good for him, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala moved away from him, so the person going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding this matter. So of those things, the person regarding that of those asbab where people leave away the reason of causes why people fall into being hasty is because of not seeking counsel and advice from others, and also taking back the matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you find that in many cases of those people who are hasty, then you find that the result is not something which is good. The result is not good.
وآخر ما نختم به هذه المحاضرة: ما هي الوسائل التي تعينني كمسلم أن أكتسب صفة التأني؟ قلت لكم في بداية المحاضرة أن هذا الخلق نادر وعزيز، وأغلب الناس في عجلة، فكيف أستطيع أن أحصل هذا الخلق؟ أولا، وأريد أن أختصر، الدعاء. ادعو الله: يا رب يا رب. وكان من دعاء رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: واهدني لأحسن الأخلاق، لا يهدي لأحسنها إلا أنت. فتدعو الله: يا رب هدئ قلبي، يا رب وفقني، يا رب ارزقني هذا الخلق. الأمر الثاني: أن تنظر إلى عواقب الاستعجال، كيف دمر بيوتا وفكك أسرا وشتت شملا، بل أفقد دولا ممالكها بسبب الاستعجال. فالعجلة بلاؤها كبير، نسأل الله السلامة والمعافاة.
So they said that. The next thing to be discussed, and that will be we'll end with this matter, is regarding mentioned concerning wasa'il. What are some of the things that a person can use for him to achieve regarding being of those who verify matters? So of those things the person can use, and the person try to assist him in achieving concerning the person having of this quality. So and to gain of this quality. So Shaykh mentioned two of those things the person can use to gain of this quality. That one, a dua. So the first regarding a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where the person go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Rab, and the person go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and supplicate to his Lord Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he mentioned regarding concerning the Prophet Islam that that he would constantly make this supplication. So the Prophet will constantly make this supplication. We mentioned that my Lord, guide me to the best of mannerism and conduct. So, oh my Lord, guide me to the best of conduct and behavior. Then from this is asking for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant him good conduct and behavior. So of those means that can be used is a dua, where the person go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking of this from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second is the person that he look regarding concern that the person that he tries to look to see what will be the end result of things. So the person not being hasty, but rather the person somewhat would try to look to see what would be the end result of that action of that action. So looking into things and to see what will be the end result. Then of these are the things the person can use as a way to assist him to achieve ta'anni, to achieve this quality.
ومن الأسباب المعينة على التأني أن تعرف أسماء الله، ومن أسمائه الحليم، ومن أسمائه الرفيق. ومن معاني هذين الاسمين التأني في الأمور والتدرج فيها. من ذلك أنه أمهل العصاة والظالمين والكافرين، رزق من يشتمه، وأعطى من يكفر به، وأمهل ولم يستعجل لعجلة أحد، والله لا يستعجل لعجلة أحد. فإذا عرفت أسماء الله عرفت من أسمائه هذا: قال الله عز وجل: ولو يعجل الله للناس الشر استعجالهم بالخير لقضي إليهم أجلهم فنذر الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا في طغيانهم يعمهون. وأقرأها لكم بالتجويد لأنها آخر آية سأقرأها في محاضرة اليوم. يقول الله: ولو يعجل الله للناس الشر استعجالهم بالخير لقضي إليهم أجلهم فنذر الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا في طغيانهم يعمهون. لاحظتم هذه الآية، وحينما قرأناها بالتجويد نشعر بعظمتها كيف هي. تفضل.
As the Shaykh Hafidullah, that now wish to end regarding of those things that can be used as a means to assist the person regarding achieving and gaining, being one who look into matter carefully and investigate matter carefully. It mentioned of those things that can be used, the person knowing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala names, the person knowing and understanding concerning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala names, and of those names regarding Al-Halim of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rafiq. So of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala name concerning that, so these are the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If the person understands these names, then it will aid and assist him regarding achieving, concerning gaining of those who look into things thoroughly. The Shaykh mentioned an ayah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not being hasty regarding things that he have ordained for his creation. Then Shaykh Hafidullah, he read the ayah and he read it with tajweed, as you all heard.
ثم آخر شيء أن تقرأ سيرة محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام وكيف كانت أناته، أن تقرأ سيرة سلفنا الصالح كيف كان حاله في أناته وعدم تعجلهم. فإذا قرأت السيرة لنبينا عليه الصلاة والسلام وللعظماء من الأمة كيف ارتفعوا بصبرهم وحلمهم وأناتهم، فازوا وارتفعوا بمثل هذا. وأختم أقول لكم: لا يفلح عجول أبدا، لا يفلح عجول أبدا، لا في تجارة ولا في صناعة ولا في زواج ولا في علاقة، لا يفلح أبدا، حتى وإن أفلح في الظاهر لكنه لا يستمتع بهذا الفلاح المزعوم. فنسأل الله العظيم أن يرزقنا هذا الخلق الطيب وهو الأناة، فالأناة من الله من الرحمن والعجلة من الشيطان. اللهم ارزقنا هذا الخلق يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وكما بدأت بحمد ربي أنتهي بالحمد أكرم فيه من عنواني. وجزاكم الله خيرا على حسن الاستماع.
So Sheikh, you mentioned that as for the final thing that will be said regarding this lecture, regarding of those things that can be used as a way to assist the person in achieving of those who look into matter carefully. He mentioned regarding of those things, one, regarding knowing or reading into the seerah of the Prophet, or the biography of the Prophet ﷺ. So looking and reading the biography of the Prophet ﷺ, and also second, also the biography of the Salaf al-Salih. So the person who look into those their lifestyle regarding concerning the Prophet ﷺ, and also those of people of standing amongst us from amongst the Salaf al-Salih, then a person will see concerning that their statement and also their position regarding concerning the person, those who were verify things thoroughly, and also those people who are not hasty regarding things. So Shaykh mentioned the person who wants to be successful, then this is the path that the person has to take regarding, look to the life of the Prophet Islam, and also the seerah of the Salaf al-Salih regarding how they dealt with this matter regarding, or possessing of this quality regarding anat. Then he mentioned that so the person who does not want success then is the person who's hasty. So the person who will miss concerning behalf of those who are successful are those people who are somewhat there quick on things. So I mentioned regarding concern that, if you find look concerning those people who does not want to be successful regarding, if you're hasty, quick regarding concerning matters regarding your business, regarding concerning your relationship with others, that the person is not is quick regarding decision making and doing of things, then the person will not be successful. So Shaykh he mentioned regarding concerning this matter concerning anat, that he mentioned regarding what we started with regarding the hadith of the Prophet mentioned that anat min Allah, that the person who looks into things thoroughly and carefully, that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also regarding concerning that the person who's hasty, concerning haste, also is from the Shaytan. So this is the Shaytan, he kind of somewhat end by the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and this meeting today. So that inshallah ta'ala will end for today. Naam. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakumullah khair.
Al-waqt late. So inshallah ta'ala that we're kind of somewhat now bring things to a close for tonight. So as we mentioned that there's a series of lecture for this week. So yesterday we had one, and today we have the second, and inshallah ta'ala that tomorrow we'll be continuing with, we'll be hosting Sheikh Hussein Awaisha. So we'll be having tomorrow at the same time Sheikh Hussein Awaisha that also will be presenting a lecture. So we wish to نشكر فضيلة الشيخ على هذه الكلمات يعني ما شاء الله. أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن ينفع بنا والإخوة جزاه الله خير وثابكم الله. Okay. يا اخوان يا اخوان يا اخواني, as we just had a discussion, so take into account what we just discussed, because the brother is asking a question. Hey, تفضل. Ask. Hey, raise your voice. The takif. السؤال يعني كيف أن يفهم هذه الأسماء والصفات. كيف الطريقة في فهم الأسماء والصفات على يعني على طريقة جيد.
يقرأ لشيخنا الشيخ ابن عثيمين رحمه الله القواعد المثلى، كتاب القواعد المثلى، لكن لا يقرأ وحده، يحتاج إلى شيخ. يعني مثلا نفس الشيخ نعم القواعد المثلى في شرح الصفات، فأنت يعني قبل أن تتأصل لا تستطيع وحدك أن تفهم هذا العلم، لابد من شيخ. إذا لم تجد هنا فالآن هذه الدروس مشروحة من نفس الشيخ، وهي موجودة على شبكة النت وعلى غيرها، فتستمع للدرس وتبدأ تضع الملاحظات في مثل هذا الباب. شرح الواسط مثلا، شرح الواسطية للشيخ ابن عثيمين أيضا في الصفات في الأسماء، يعني المقصود لو قرأت وحدك ربما تفهم شيئا وتغيب عنك أشياء كثيرة، فلا بد من شيخ. إن وجدته حاضرا أمامك فهو الأفضل، إن لم تجد فما شاء الله الشيوخ كثر الذين شرحوا الواسطية لشيخ الإسلام، منهم الشيخ ابن عثيمين شرح الواسطية، فتستمع له. إن فاتتك أشياء ليه يا إخواني نصيحة وأقدمها، تأنوا. بعض الإخوة يستعجل يقرأ الكتاب، لابد أن يفهم كل حرف فيه، لابد أن يفهم كل فكرة فيه، ما يفهم يغرق المادة يذهب إلى مادة أخرى، ما يفهم ينتقل إلى مادة ثالثة، ما يستفيد. لو استفدت من الكتاب الثلث نعمة كبيرة، الربع وهكذا، من هنا فائدة، من هنا فائدة، من هنا فائدة، تستفيد. هذا الذي عندي.
So Shaykh Hafidullah, you mentioned regarding the question, the question the brother asked concerning that's a method regarding understanding concerning Allah's subhanahu wa ta'ala names and attributes. So Shaykh Hafidullah respond by saying concerning that of those things that he recommend regarding concerning that the person studying a book concerning Qawaid al-Muthla, which is the book that Ibn al-Sayyim rahimahullah have mentioned certain principles regarding Allah's subhanahu wa ta'ala names and attributes. So Shaykh that the person if the person if he can read that book, we find the principles regarding how to understand the names and the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is somewhat mentioned in that book. So Shaykh said that if you can find a person or a sheikh to explain that book, then that is better rather than a person trying to understand on his own. So finding a sheikh, a teacher to explain that book, then that is the ideal approach regarding that matter. Or if the person can find the teacher right there, then the person can find that even though those books have been explained and that they have been that they are on internet, so there's you have explanation amongst them who have explained that book is the author himself, Ibn Sayyid rahimahullah, who explained the book that he wrote on this topic. Then also he went on to explain the book himself. So finding a teacher or finding those the explanation that are uploaded on the net. Then the Shaykh mentioned that second, that an explanation of Aqid al-Wasatiyah. So second, an explanation of Aqid al-Wasatiyah by Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. So again, the same thing, a person, if he can find a teacher to take him through that book, then that is better and ideal. And as mentioned, that if you cannot find the teacher that is right there in front of you, then a person then go online and try to find someone who have explained that book. You can find many of the mashaykh who have explained the books. Again, also amongst those who have explained the book, Ibn Sayyid rahimahullah have explained the book. So many. So the person want to listen. And the shaykh said also something that I want someone to bring to your attention regarding this matter. That at times a person might go to a lesson or listening to a lesson, and the person believe that the person is also in this matter is not one, he's become very hasty. So the person becomes very hasty because he listened to this lesson, that he believes that he's supposed to understand every single letter in that book from start to end. So the person becomes so that of the thing the person is not this is a sign of the person being hasty, where he believes that he has to understand every single letter in the book. That's not the case regarding certain matters. The person that he tries to, so it's not a must, a condition. The person must understand everything. And if the person does not understand everything, then he goes to a next book. And he goes to a next book because every book that he reads, he's not understanding every single thing, so he jumps to another book. Then he said, this is not proper. Then this is not the correct way to go about things. So the person, if you understand most of the book, or even a certain percentage of the book, so you can mention like a fourth, a quarter, but a person that try to understand as much as he's able, but it's not conditional that he must understand everything in the book. So not to be hasty, because the person did not understand every single thing, every paragraph, every sentence, every letter, then you're going to move to something else. Then that's also not the approach, that the person being hasty and not having all himself, being patient with the matter. So that's concerning what we recall from what the Sheikh has said. وبالله توفيق.
في فقط تكملة أن العلوم حينما كتبت كانت على 3 أقسام. أي علم له كتب ابتدائية، ثم كتب متوسطة، ثم كتب نهايات. من الخطأ على طالب العلم المبتدئ أن يبتدئ من العكس، أن يبتدئ من النهايات. مثل طفل صغير يأتي ابن 7 سنوات ويذهب يدرس البكالوريا، ما يستطيع، يقرأ ما يفهم، لم يتدرج. فأي شيء لا أنات فيه في طلب العلم ولا تدرج فيه لا يثمر. فلا بد أن تبدأ في العلوم في البدايات. مثلا لو نضرب مثالا النحو عندنا كتب ابتدائية مثل الأجرومية وشرحها، ثم تصعد قليلا، تصعد حتى تصل إلى الألفية. بعض الطلبة أول ما يبدأ بألفية ابن عقيل ما يمكن، وذلك لا يفهم شيئا. أول ما يبدأ بالعقيدة شرح الطحاوية لابن أبي العز ما يفهم شيء، لا بد أن يتدرج. ابدأ بالأصول الثلاثة، ثم بعد ذلك انطلق انطلق انطلق. بعض الطلبة لا يفهم حتى أنواع التوحيد، لا يفهم شيئا عن توحيد الربوبية ولا الألوهية، ويذهب إلى الأسماء والصفات والإشكالات التي فيها. هذا خطأ فادح. لابد أن تتأصل في العلوم وتتدرج وترتفع درجة فدرجة، هكذا تصل. أما الذي لا يتدرج في العلوم لا يفلح ولا يكاد يفلح.
Yes, Sheikh Hafidullah, you mentioned that you wanted to add something also regarding of those things to be mindful of regarding a dimension here concerning the ulum, concerning Islamic sciences. So in relation to Islamic sciences, that the Sheikh mentioned that you find that the science of Islam, that you can categorize them into three categories. So the sciences, that they can be categorized into three levels. So you find that the first level regarding the sciences, that books that are dedicated for those people who are beginners. Second level is those people who are intermediary. And the third level are those people on the more advanced level. So you find that the science of Islam, they're somewhat structured on those levels. So the Sheikh said the error that sometimes of the person being somewhat hasty is that a person who, that the beginner wants to start at the end point. The person is a beginner, but he wants to start at the people at the most advanced level. So as an example, that a child at the age of 7, a child at the age of 7 now want to study, but they want to go and to gain their bachelor's. So the age of 7, and they're trying to gain a bachelor degree. Is not something which is the norm. It's not norm. It's not done in that fashion. So that's so with the ulum, or the science that the person has to go by, he goes by from one level, and he goes in a systemized way of the person going from one level to the next level. So with that, the Shaykh mentioned regarding concerning tadarruj, that the person that he moves from one level and then move up to the next level. So for example, that if we're to use one of the sciences as an example regarding an-nahu, regarding the science of the language, that the person will have those levels that are there. So if example, for the beginner level, that the person starts with Ajrumiya. So that book for like beginners, so the person will start on that level. But instead the person on the beginner level, so you have different levels in between, up from Ajrumiya, then you go to the next level, then you go to the next level, then reach a level where the person concerns Alfiyat ibn Malik, which is one of those more advanced level regarding the language. So the person at the beginner level, but he wants to start with Alfiyat ibn Malik, which is a more advanced level regarding that type of study. So the person who will study a book of this on the higher, the more advanced level, then a person most likely he would not understand much. He would not understand much because that is of a beginner level, but trying to study levels that are much more advanced than he's at. Then also, for example, concerning Aqidah, that a person that is at a beginner stage, but he wants to study the Sharh of Aqidah al-Tahawiyah by Ibn Abi His. That's a more advanced book regarding matters relating to Aqidah. Is not for a beginner, but the beginner who wants to start there, then that's not the way to go about doing things. So the person, for the beginner level, the person will start with, for example, Usul al-Thalatha, and kind of somewhat work his way up through those books. So the person might be at that level, but he doesn't understand concerning in Aqidah, concerning Aqsam al-Tawheed, concerning different levels or categories of Tawheed. But he wants to study an advanced book, but he doesn't know the basic matter regarding Tawheed. So the person in approaching the science, then the person have to have a systematic way of doing it, where the person go to each level and work his way up, but first start with a beginner level and then work one way up. So the Shaykh said of these matters regarding of the studies of Islamic sciences, that a person have to have some type of foundational principles. So the person will have the foundational principle, and then he will just build from there upwards. So with this matter regarding studies of Islam, then it require the person that's there are different levels and degrees. So the person can somewhat start from the first and work his way up to the different level. But a person who does not, who does not follow that system, then he will not be successful. The person who does not follow the system of tadarruj, of moving from one level upwards, then the person will not be successful. خلاص
جزاك الله خير.
جزاك الله خير. السلام عليكم.